Welcome everyone to our fourth session of the day. This session is going to be a really, really good one. We've got session about getting work ready, and Layla, who is from the International Student Employability Liaison team, is going to speak about, how can students be work ready when they start their student journey with us. And we've got Edwin here, who's one of our iPrep students, who will briefly talk about his experience as a student, as well as he's an iPrep student. So a few housekeeping rules. So question and answers will be happening towards the end of the session. We're looking at about a 30-minute presentation to 35 minutes or so, and then you can feel free to pop through your questions in the chat box, and we will have a session towards the end where we can answer some of your questions live. The recording of the session will be available at the end of the session, including the presentations as well. So I'm going to pass it over to Layla. Layla, on to you.
Thank you, Mona, and thank you very much for having me. Welcome, everybody. I hope you find this session useful because I know many of you will be interested in coming to study at UTAS because it will help you get a job either in your home country or if you come to choose and study face-to-face with us on campus. We have a lot of support available for you either online or face-to-face. If you are here with us. And I just wanted to talk through a few things today just to keep in the back of your mind as you commence your study journey with UTAS, because working on your employability and improving your chances of getting a job at the end of your study is something that you can work on right from the start of your study journey, and is certainly something that we recommend that you have in the front of your mind as you commence your journey with us. What I want to cover today is, I guess, the support that's available for you, what some of the expectations of Australian employers are when it comes to job searching and applicants for positions that might be advertised. I'm going to talk about iPrep, which is a UTAS specific program which is supported by the Tasmanian government, and it's designed to help international students develop their employability skills and help them better understand Australian workplace culture and make that transition. And I've got one of my wonderful students here who has completed the program, Edwin, and I'll have a chance to talk with Edwin about his experience so you can hear firsthand the benefits of that program. I want to talk to you also about the importance of volunteering and using different opportunities to build your employability, and about the Vice-Chancellor's Leadership Program, which is a leadership program which all students can apply for and be a part of, and you can have your professional and your volunteer experiences formally recognised through your academic transcript at the conclusion of your study with us. Okay, we might start with the first slide, I think, Mona. Okay, so what I want to talk about here is just the range of resources that are available for you as a student at UTAS. And I guess my main key message here is your employability is more than just your marks and your degree. Yes, you come to university to get a piece of paper which says you've got a Bachelor of Arts or a Bachelor of Science, but in terms of being job ready and competitive in the job market in Australia, Australian employers value very highly broad experiences that students can bring to the interview table. So they won't necessarily just be looking at your marks and the fact that you got 5 high distinctions and 3 credits. They will be very interested in the experiences that you've had in addition to your study or your course. And there's lots of ways that you can build that, either if you're here with us on campus in Tasmania, or things that you can do in your home country as well. So there's just, as a student, you have access to a range of resources and services, as you can see there on that slide. We've got career advisors that work in our team. So you can have a one-on-one consult with a career advisor, and you can, yeah, we might bring up that, yeah, thanks, Mona. Even if you're studying out of Tasmania, so you're studying online, you will be able to book an appointment with a career advisor, and that can happen online. We have what's called the Learning Lounge, which is a one-stop shop for all students to access our whole range of career and employability services. So what you can see on the screen here is an example of some of our online support materials. This particular module is about networking, and we know the importance of networking and building your local industry contacts, either in your home country or in Tasmania, is very important. And this is an online learning module which we have developed to help you better network. There is also a whole range of other modules which focus on very specific employability topics, such as how to do a resume, which will tell you, give you hints and tips on what Australian employers are looking for if you're looking for work when you arrive here in Tasmania. And so we know that some of our international students come from countries where you just would hand in a resume to get work and get an interview, but Australian employers like to have a cover letter and some selection criteria and a resume. It's sort of a whole package of pitching why you're the best person for the job on paper as the first step, and we can support you to put that together to appeal to an Australian employer if that's what you want to do when you're here. Yes, another point there is student jobs on campus. So if you do come to study with us here on campus, you will be able to access a whole range of jobs. And there are around, I guess, 200 positions of jobs on campus, which might be something that you are interested in. So helping other peers with organising activities or helping them study better. You can generally apply for those student jobs on campus after you've completed 12 months of study. And I'll talk to Edwin about that because he had a student job on campus while he was living in Launceston. So apart from student jobs on campus, many students want to get work to support themselves while they're studying here. And students are often employed in sectors such as retail and hospitality, tourism, and things like that. And we have a portal that you'll be able to access, which has a lot of different positions. Local employers will advertise their jobs looking for students to come and work. So it's a one-stop shop for you to apply for work. But if you're studying online with us, I would really recommend that you think about how can you build a range of experiences which can support your employability. So apart from our online resources and the fact that you can speak to a career counsellor, you can also attend workshops that we run. They're all available online. We have workshops on how to write resumes, how to do an interview, how to put together your job application package. And I would also, can we just go to the next slide, Mona? Actually, I think it's on volunteering. Yes, so what I was saying was volunteering and building up local experiences is important to support your employability, but it also gives you a whole range of experiences to talk about in your interview. So if you can refer to experiences that you have had while studying, it sets you apart from all the other people that will be applying for a job. So we say, have a rich and diverse set of experiences, either by having a job while you're studying or offering to volunteer. And one of the benefits of volunteering really is getting involved in that local community and making connections. And we find students that come to study with us and they get involved in community volunteering, their English improves much faster than those students who don't. And it also gives them the chance to develop local connections, and that's very important in finding work. So you might want to start thinking about how you can do some volunteering or community activities in your home country, because Tasmanian and generally Australian employers are very interested in the global perspective and the local experiences that you've had in your home country. They want to hear about that. And that, again, also will set you apart from other students who may also be applying for the same role that you are applying for. It is competitive to get a job, and I regularly hear from employers that they receive sort of 50 to 100 resumes to go through when they're shortlisting and having interviews. But the one thing that you can do to ensure your employability either at the end of your degree or during your degree really is to have different experiences, and volunteering is one of those things that you can do. So you can volunteer on campus. We have lots of organisations where you can get involved with other students to do to put on events. We encourage you to get involved in the local Tasmanian community when you're here, but you can also do online volunteering, and we've seen a lot of that pop up over the last few months where students have been sitting at home and are very interested in still improving their employability, but they're able to volunteer their services online. So if you'd like to explore that, then please talk to us and we can put you in touch with organisations that can host you. Okay, Mona, we might move on to the next one. I wanted to talk to you about the iPrep program, which is a program specifically designed to help international students make that transition to Australian workplace culture and give you a real practical experience and something that you can put on your resume as having a concrete in-workplace experience. There are lots of, depending on which degree you do, there are often units that you can complete in your course of study called work integrated learning units, which is where you may be placed in an organisation and you do a project very closely associated with your degree. They are units that you apply for and you get you get marked on it. The iPrep program is a co-curricular program which is done in addition to your study, and students apply to be part of the program through a competitive selection process. And again, that is about giving students the opportunity to actually practice putting together a job application package, practice doing an interview, and competing, essentially competing against other students. So we have around 50 local Tasmanian businesses on board with the program, and the main crux of the program is to give students a workplace experience in a Tasmanian organisation for around 80 hours. And it's not necessarily associated with your degree. This is about giving you the chance to make social connections with a workplace, really integrate into that workplace culture. So you're not just behind a desk, but we encourage students to their supervisors to take them to meetings with stakeholders, really get involved in meeting other people. And that's what sets this program apart from the other work units that you might do in your degree. And Edwin is actually one of our iPrep students who has completed the program. And Edwin is from Indonesia, and he was living in Launceston for the last 2 years, completing a Masters of IT. And Edwin completed his iPrep internship at the ANZ Bank, which is one of Australia's top 4 banks. And I would like to invite Edwin to just give you an insight into his time there at ANZ. Edwin, thank you very much for being a part of today. Can you talk about where you did your iPrep experience and what were some of the things that you were able to observe during your time in the Australian workplace?
Yep. Thank you for inviting me to this seminar. And probably I just want to change a bit. I actually did my master in professional accounting.
Oh, how
And
embarrassing.
no worries. So I actually did my undergrad program last November, and I was very glad to be placed at the Australian and New Zealand Banking Group, or more commonly known as the ANZ. So my iPad program at the ANZ is more like a work experience program where I got to experience a number of divisions in the ANZ. So I think generally when we first hear about banks, all that we know is the retail banking area, where we can approach the tellers for our inquiries, or like the personal bankers who will be able to give us a one-to-one discussion about our banking needs. However, the retail banking area is actually a very small part of the services provided by the bank. The main sectors of the bank can be actually read into like the retail banking area and also the business banking area, which I did not know first before I joined the iPad program. So within the business banking group that I experienced through the iPad program, I had exposure to like the agribusiness banking, the commercial banking, and like a number of many other divisions. I think one of the most interesting one is the agribusiness banking, which I did not know exists even before I joined the iPad program. So in the agribusiness banking, I was joined with the agribusiness manager, and we actually visited like a block of land, and we actually try to value the land according to what the condition of the land is, and we also talk with the clients face to face directly at their home to talk about the block of land that they are interested in buying as well. So I think the agribusiness banking is definitely one of the highlights of my iPad program.
That's interesting, the agribusiness sector, because it's probably a sector that students wouldn't consider that there would necessarily be much work in. But I guess given that Tasmania has a lot of farmland and natural resources, that was a sector that you were able to observe closely while you were there. One of the main major parts of the program is giving students the chance to learn about Australian workplace culture. Was there anything that particularly surprised you about the workplace culture at ANZ as opposed to something that you may have experienced in Indonesia working back home?
There isn't, based on my experience, there isn't anything like super surprising regarding Australian workplace culture, but again, it definitely differs from one organization to another organization about the workplace culture. But one thing, based on my past work experience in Australia, and also based on my iPad program at the ANZ, I think one thing that they really value is to ask questions. So they really like when employees or students actually ask questions and actually give feedback or recommendations on how to actually make the operations better and to be able to achieve like the desired goal together. So it's not like an individual person making the goal by himself or herself, but it's like a collaborative work all together. So they really value when you ask questions, which shows that you are really interested in the job that you are doing and you really want to improve and to achieve the desired goal together. So I think asking questions is a very important way to actually go through the Australian workplace culture.
We hear lots of employers saying how great it is to see students' confidence grow right from the first day that they were doing the internship through to the end. And I think welcoming the students' input into business processes, we've seen some wonderful results of students who've made recommendations to businesses that said, you know, back in my study at UTAS, we're learning about data analysis, for instance. Have you thought about doing your data analysis in a different way? And so they're able to make those. That's one of the lovely things about the program, is that, you know, working closely with someone and being feel comfortable to challenge what they might have been doing for, say, 20 years in their business processes. So it's really recognising that students are able to bring a fresh perspective and often a global perspective to Tasmanian businesses. Thanks, Edwin. I wanted to ask you about your, I talked to the students about getting a job on campus and, you know, the fact that that's an option to be employed if you're a student. Could you talk about your time as a career peer and what you did there and what you enjoyed about it?
Yep. I think one of them, I would say unique, because I came from another university in Australia as well. One thing that I really like about UTAS, University of Tasmania, is that they offer a range of student jobs, from student engagement leader, international peer leader, where you can definitely apply as a student. And I actually applied last year and I got a job as a career peer. So my role as a career peer is to actually help other students with their job application packages, which not only include resume, but also cover letter and selection criteria. So if they haven't built a resume, cover letter, or selection criteria, I can help them by giving them samples and recommendations. But if they have actually built one, I can just look through, not necessarily proofread word by word, but like just to see overall how the structure is. Do they hit all the important things that mentioned in the job job listing, which is very important. And also, if they have used the STAR approach in the selection criteria, which to show what they have done and to show the result in order to go through the interview process, because a lot of the students actually wouldn't able to go to this interview stage because of their job application packages. So that is where I am there as a career peer to actually help them to get through to the interview stage.
So Edwin is an example of a support service that we have for students, which are called career peers. So they're experienced students who are helping other students get work. And Edwin has spent time working one-on-one with students, helping them put together that job application package. So I encourage you to access that service if you need to. Edwin, you've been involved in community activities as a member of various different clubs and societies while you have been a student. Can you reflect on the types of skills that you have developed through that experience? We talked before about the importance of volunteering and getting involved in the community in terms of developing your employability. Can you give us some insights on that, please?
Yep, so there are, if you go through the TU website, which is the Tasmanian University Union, they have a number of clubs and societies that students can join. And I myself, because I am from the business background, I actually joined the best society, which is the Business and Economics Student Society at Tasmania. And also, from my background as an Indonesian, I also joined the Indonesian Student Society at Tasmania. They have a number of societies from many nationalities: Singapore Society, Malaysian Society, and many other societies. And I think the skills that I have received from these societies, one of them is definitely the organizational skills, because in those societies, we definitely have like a role where you can apply within the society itself. And I myself actually apply as a treasurer for the Indonesian society. So I learned about all the cash inflow and cash outflow of the events that they are going to be held. And we also learn about organization skills, about how we collaborate with other societies to make an event happen. And it is very amazing just to see how the event, the plan that we made through meetings all together with the society members can actually come to that actualization, that it actually happens, and it just give you it feels very contented to see that really happens, like how we collaborate with the Malaysian society to make like an event together, or like to so I would say organization skill is one of the skills that actually that have improved. Another one is definitely communication skills, because we need to talk with a number of students from different backgrounds, especially when I was in the Best Society. In the Best Society, I actually talked with a number of students from diverse backgrounds. And also, in the Best Society, we also work together with the CPA Australia. So we hold an event together. For example, we give like employability workshop to see you can be more work ready in the society. So I think it is definitely beneficial for students to look through the list of the societies and clubs available at the University of Tasmania and apply for those that really interest you, because it will definitely improve your skills in the it will give you a sense of being at a workplace, because you guys going to have meetings together and to hold events together. So it's just like a small organization before going through the real life businesses.
Yes.
So
But
I would definitely encourage.
The great thing about that is that gives you a lot of things to talk about in a job interview.
Yep.
And that really will set you apart from other students who might be applying, which is great. I just want to finish, Edwin, by asking you, what tips would you give students wanting to find work while studying?
I would definitely encourage them to keep an eye on the job listings available, either through the Career Connect, where they have like student jobs on campus, just like the Career Peer that I apply for, but also to make use of all the facilities available at the University of Tasmania, because we have a lot of services available. For example, from Career Advisor, who will be able to help you get a job, to look for what you're interested in the society, but also to get connected with the society, just to talk to people, I would say, and to ask questions where you don't understand about any of the stuff that you are interested in, because the University of Tasmania offers a range of services which can actually help you answer those questions. And if those questions are related to getting a job, then you could just talk to a career advisor who will definitely be able to help you to be able to get a job.
Great. Thank you very much for sharing those insights, Edwin. That was really useful. Thank you. I just want to finish by just talking to the students about the Vice Chancellor's Leadership Program, which is a program that you can access to have, you can participate in to have all your experiences that you have while studying formally recognised. So this program is aiming to develop your leadership skills and have that recognised. And you can do an online unit, which is Discover Your Leadership Potential. You can enrol in that and complete the activities associated with that. And then we encourage you to have a practical sort of experience, either in the workplace or with a community organisation. Then we ask students to reflect on that experience, and then if you're successful in completing all the elements of that program, then you can have a citation on your academic transcript which says you've received the Vice Chancellor's Leadership Award. It is a very prestigious program, but we have a number of students that go through it, and really the student that they were before they started really is so different when they come out the other end because of the rich experiences that they've had. And we are finding that those students who go through the program really have very positive benefits in terms of their employability after they finish their degree and graduate. So that's the end of my presentation. My key message to you is there are lots of things that you can do to improve and work on your employability while you're studying at UTAS, and we are here to help support you do that, either online or face-to-face. And there are programs that you can access, like the iPrep program, which can give you a practical work experience. And I forgot to mention the iPrep program. It is a face-to-face internship, but we have also just over the last couple of months been offering online or virtual internships. So there is always that option as well. And we've had lots of local Tasmanian employees show interest in hosting students virtually. So that's been working really well. And if you choose to continue your study online, then that might be something that we would be able to organise for you. So welcome everybody. I hope that that's been an interesting presentation for you, and you feel like you would be supported to develop your employability and find out your career direction and career pathway, because we've got lots of really passionate staff here who want to see students succeed after they graduate here and go out into the workforce. Mona, do we have any questions?
Yes, we do have questions. Thank you so much, Layla and Edwin. I really enjoyed listening to both of you speak, and I think, you know, all of these programs that we have available at the university, students should definitely take advantage. As the students, our audience heard, Edwin's experience as an iPrep student and joining the societies and clubs. So, you know, students should definitely take advantage of it. And I think it's so important to know that, as Edwin said, that there is someone to help you. If you're not sure about something, always ask the question. You know, we had previous students speak before you guys, and they also said the same thing. It's pretty consistent message. You know, you're part of the UTAS community. You know, and I think these programs definitely help students to get out there in the workforce. You know, even if you don't do the program, there's always as Edward mentioned, the career advisors who help you, you know, take you through things if you're unsure about stuff. So fantastic presentation. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly go through some of these questions. So just give me a couple of seconds. So there's a lot of questions that were more personally related questions which were answered, but we've got one question here. Maybe Layla, you can answer this one. So Trick is asking, are there any volunteer/internship opportunities in Tasmanian local farms where I can learn the farm owner's agricultural skills and learn what the best things are to grow in Tasmania, etc., regarding agricultural field? And they're going to be a undergrad student next year in agribusiness. Any comments on that one?
Yes, I definitely think there are lots of opportunities, particularly in northern Tasmania. But the agricultural study, did you say Bachelor of
Agribusiness? Yeah.
Agribusiness?
Yeah.
There is probably work integrated learning units within that, which will give you a practical work experience, but there is no reason why you couldn't contact local farm owners and express interest. I mean, Australian employers love people who are enthusiastic, and if you volunteered your time at a local farm, then yes, I'm sure that there would be lots of opportunities for you to do that. Down in Hobart, in the Huon Valley, I know that there are certainly lots of businesses down there that take volunteers. So the answer to that is yes, you definitely would have an opportunity to build up some practical skills while you're studying.
Awesome. And while we're on the same topic, another student has asked, are there any internships or volunteer work to do in Maritime in Tasmania?
Yes, there are. We have an industry engagement team which work in my team, and their sole responsibility is to facilitate industry connections between students and industry, and maritime logistics particularly is an area where there are lots of Tasmanian employers who are looking for people to come and work, either in a paid or a volunteer capacity. So yes, if you're studying through the AMC, Australian Maritime College, then you would be able to access practical work experience opportunities, definitely.
Awesome. I've got another 2 questions that came through. So a student is asking, how long will the program last? I'm assuming they're talking about the iPrep. And which point would you recommend students to join the program?
Okay, the program is available for students in their final 12 months. It is, I guess it's a semester-long program, right from the start of the education workshops that we have as part of the program to the application process through to doing your internship, which lasts for around 80 hours. So we ask students to kind of have it in the back of their mind as something that they want to do during their study. But in that last 12 to 18 months, that's when you really sort of start expressing interest and showing engagement in the program, and building your skills so that you can be successful during the interview process. But it is kind of it's a program that we see as kind of finishing off and polishing your skills to get out into the workforce. So that's why it's offered in the last 12 months rather than in your first year, because, you know, when your first year starting, there's a lot for you to take in, and doing a practical work experience is probably, you know, not something that you necessarily have room in your study schedule to actually accommodate. So by the time we see students in their final 12 months, there's often a bit more room when they can complete an internship.
Yeah, and that makes sense. You know, and it being towards the end of their degree, it gives them time if they ended up doing any volunteer jobs, or, you know, if they ended up doing any part-time or casual work, it gives them time to build that resume, I guess, and they'll
That's
have
right.
they'll be in a more stronger position. Yeah, totally. At the end of this year.
Yeah.
I've got a question here. So, can I start working online while we will be studying off campus this semester as a second-year international student? What should I do for it? This was a
So
question.
can we just clarify working online as in having a job online?
I think I remember you said some of the aspects of the program is online. Is that right?
Some of
I'm
the
not sure.
some of our support, well, all of our support materials are available online. So we have
Yeah.
what's called the Learning Lounge, so they can access support workshops in relation to putting together job application packages. I think the question might be in relation to the student jobs on campus, maybe, which is
Possibly.
that you have to complete 12 months study before you can be employed as employed in a student job. I will just make a note of that question because I'm not sure if those positions are offered online, but I would like to explore that. Can we just take that on notice?
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
Definitely will do. I'm just looking at other questions coming through. We've answered that one. So if the audience have any particular questions, please send them through. We do have a little bit of time, so we do have capacity to answer any questions. I've got one here from Sahil. So, what are the prospects of getting civil engineering job placements after my Masters of Engineering specialization? So a comment I'll make on that before passing on to Leila is, you know, engineering is one of those areas right now, it's booming in Tasmania. And, you know, our students who generally come here to do, you know, a Bachelor of Engineering degree or a Master's of Professional Engineering, whatever the specialization is, it is a really booming economy, and you know, employers are always looking for students who have an engineering background. But I'll pass it on to Leila to add any comments on that.
I think the Masters of Engineering course of study definitely has a professional placement unit built into that degree, and so during that unit you would be placed in a Tasmanian organisation to have that experience for the semester. In terms of employability after, as Mona said, it really is a booming industry, and there are many not just engineering firms, but government agencies which are employing Tasmanian UTAS engineering graduates. We have a huge hydro energy industry here, and there are lots of companies involved in that. There's a lot of civil construction happening. It really, as Mona said, is a boom industry. So I would say that your prospects of getting a job after completing your Masters of Professional Engineering are very good.
Yeah, and I completely agree. It's just one of those sectors that, you know, Tasmania is definitely a smaller population compared to other mainland cities, and there's always so much opportunity here. So, no, completely agree. I'm just looking at other questions. A question I had, Leila, is can students do two programs together at the same time, or do they have to be, does it have to be separate?
Which two programs?
So the iPrep and the VCLP program,
Yes,
are they
absolutely.
like,
Yep.
yeah, yeah,
They
fantastic.
work quite well together. So your iPrep experience can be recognised in the VCLP. And so the professional experience that you get with iPrep, those hours that you log as part of that experience, can be credited towards your VCLP. So yes, you can do them together. But we encourage you to think about the VCLP right from the start of your journey and have a collection of experiences that can build your evidence for getting an award under that program.
Awesome. We've got students here asking, you know, we get this time and time again, but I guess it's appropriate to ask since it is about employability. Are there any opportunities for part-time jobs in the university campus? We did hear a few of our students speak about their experiences, but maybe a few comments on how can students access that service?
Yes, so Edwin, in his role as a career peer, that was a student jobs on campus, and we had around, as I said, around 200 to 250 positions which students can apply for, and they can apply for those roles after studying for 12 months. So that just gets involved. You know, we have international peer leaders, we have people that are employed to help other students study, we have people that are employed to help other students, they take notes in lectures for them. There's students that are employed to put on events. There's a whole broad range of jobs that you can get on campus while you come and study. But then there's also the opportunity for you to get work outside of campus in the community itself. So whether that be in a restaurant or a hotel or the tourism industry, we have lots of students that are employed in the tourism industry. So when that all gets back up and running and back to a sense of normality, then I would expect that still to continue.
Awesome. And we're getting a lot of questions about particular fields, but I guess I'll ask this
I'm
question.
happy to give them a go.
Yeah, no worries. Renee is asking, may I know what students in the Bachelor of Science in Environmental Sciences program usually do after their degree? Are there any job prospects available in Tasmania for this degree?
Environmental science.
Yeah, Bachelor of Environmental Science.
Environmental science. Look, okay, that's stretching my expertise a bit, but
yeah, me too.
I would say, look, Tasmania is just this most beautiful natural environment, and there are lots of national parks and government agencies that deal with national parks and companies that are, you know, working on the land to produce beautiful food and wine. And, you know, I have seen environmental scientists or graduates from the Bachelor of Environmental Science be employed as research assistants out in the field. They might be data analysts. There's a whole range of ways that you could apply those skills that you learn into a role. But I would say that the college responsible for that degree would be better to answer that.
Yep, completely agree. I mean, environmental sciences is one of those areas. We do specialize in that area. So all of the niche areas that students have concerns about, there's majority of the time, there's always going to be jobs available for that because they're so niche, as weird as it sounds, but it's true.
I think, like, because we are a small university and these are our niche specialties, we spend a lot of time making sure that we've got strong industry connections in place for students to access while they're studying. So we have a lot of organisations that have very close relationships with the university that would host students in internships or job shadows, or, you know, going on field trips, hosting students in a variety of different ways, and that's the beauty of coming to study here is we are small, we can have a personal relationship with you, and we can put you in touch with industry because industry are right around us and we know who they are.
Yeah, and that's a really good point because I always tell students, you know, I think I always thought we're one of the best when it comes to industry links within Tasmania and nationally as well, because we have so many niche areas and the blue and green sciences. So no, it's really fantastic. I might wrap it around there. We're not getting too many other specific questions come through. A lot of them are around different areas, but look, I just wanted to thank both of you for joining in today, and it's been a real pleasure chatting to you both. Edwin, thank you so much for joining. I'm not sure if you have exams, but do you have exams actually?
I do have an upcoming exam on Friday.
Oh, well, good luck for
Sorry.
that.
All good.
Good luck for that, Edwin. And, you know, thanks so
Thank
much for
you.
speaking. I think it's so important for our future students to hear from student like yourself.
Yes.
And, you know, for all of these, I mean, I listened to all the stuff you did. You have been doing so much more than when I was an international student at UTAS. And, you know, it always amazes me to see students like yourself do so many good things and be involved in societies. And, you know, you're the treasurer of the society. So it's fantastic to see that. And thank you so much for all you do. And thank you so much, Layla, for your time.
No problem. Sorry about my
A copy of
child.
this presentation and webinar. Oh no, look, we're all working from home, so don't worry about that. It was actually a nice touch to the presentation, I thought.
He
Don't worry
wanted
about that,
lollies. He
but
wanted
thank you so
lollies.
much. He wanted
Thank
lollies. No,
you.
of course. I need a lolly right now too. No, thank you guys so much. A copy of the presentation and webinar will be available online. We do have our last session of the day happening at 5 p.m., which is about in about half an hour. This session is just a recap on our admissions presentation. So please feel free to join in half an hour using the same link. It will be run just for half an hour. So at 5 p.m. our time, please join in for the admission session if you have any questions about how to accept your offer or how to enroll. Thank you both so much. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And Edwin, good luck for your exam on Friday.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mona. Thanks, Edwin.
Thanks, Guy.
Right. Good. Thanks, guys.